try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna.
What up, what up, what up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast, brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everybody doing today? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you all for coming through again for another episode. What's today? Wednesday, Thursday? What's today? What is today? So I don't know if last night I made a short video. Well, it wasn't too short. I planned on it being 12-14 minute video. I was thinking ended up being 40 minutes, I think. But I made a video for discussion today. I don't know. I mean, it's the first day, so maybe a lot of you guys didn't get a chance to see it. But I had broke down the guard position for the NFL draft. And I broke down some guards that, not tackles that were going to be guards, not players that are going to transition, you know, not the Will Campbells where he's projected to be a better guard than he is a tackle. These are just strictly guards. And these are guards that aren't first round draft choices. These are guys that aren't going to go in the first or second round, more than likely. These are guys maybe you've never heard of. These are guys that, you know, you've heard all the top names, obviously. I mean, they get repeated over and over and over. They're in everybody's mock drafts at the beginning. But these are guys that I think that could come in and help the team immediately. And I think they're good guys that we could get at value later on in the draft. So I made a video breaking down a couple of these guys, and because you know the way this team is set up right now, and the fact that Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel have neglected the offensive line for so long, I'm not positive. I don't think we're going offensive line first round. So I wanted to give us some options. I think that probably right now the defensive tackle is the biggest area of need, and then possibly the secondary, and the way that Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer think that offensive line is a distant third. So I wanted to break down some guys that were available from the third round on, and I hope some of you guys got an opportunity to check that out. We'll be discussing, and I wanted to be able to discuss it today because lots of times I make videos with I want to discuss something, you know what I mean? Like I make a thumbnail and with the thought that we're going to discuss it, but then we go a million different ways, which I love. Don't get me wrong. I love the discussions we have here, but sometimes we just end up getting off topic, and the whole principle of the video gets thrown out the window, which is cool. But if you're trying to tune in and you're not part of the discussion, it might get a little weird. You know what I mean? So I wanted to start trying to do something like that where I come live every day and we discuss the prior day's video. Let me holler at y'all though. Let me holler at you. Let me say my good mornings. Good morning, Michael. Costa Nostra, what up? Elwood, Mike, Bonnie, Aquavision. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you all. Elwood, Joe, good morning. Scotty, good morning, good morning. Willie Lampkin is that late round guard that is a scheme fit. Absolutely. I definitely went through, I did investigations. Every one of these guards I feel like are scheme fits. I think they could be good fits for our team. One thing I noticed while breaking down these guys and checking them out and watching game film is that a lot of these guys are wrestlers. A lot of these guys got a wrestling background, which I really like. I like I like offensive guards to have that history of got a wrestling background. I just feel it helps with hand position. It helps with your balance. It helps with your balance. I think it helps all around. I'm gonna run through them real quick, Scotty. I'm gonna run through them real quick. Yeah. See, I knew a lot of you probably weren't gonna catch it. I tried to release it last night, so you had a little bit of time. But yeah, let's start at the top though. We had a signing yesterday. We had a signing, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's more of a depth signing. I don't think he's gonna come in and start, but the Miami Dolphins have signed inside linebacker Willie Gay. Played with the Saints last year. Spent most of his career with Kansas City. He's only 27 years old, I think. Willie Gay. Listen, he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. Last year with New Orleans wasn't that great of a season. He only had 28 tackles, 2 sacks. But in 2023 for the Chiefs, he had 58 tackles, a sack and an interception. 2022, probably his best year. He had 88 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and an interception. 2021, 48, half a sack and 2 interceptions. And then his rookie year, he had 39 and 1 sack. So yeah, we bring in Willie Gay. I'm starting to like the inside linebacker room. I'm starting to like it. I think with Jordan Brooks, Dotson, KJ Britt, is that his name? And now with Willie Gay, I think we're good at inside linebacker. I do like it. I think Willie Gay's young. He can bring a lot to this team. The guy had eight tackles in the Super Bowl. He's played in big games. He knows how to win. I like it a lot. What do y'all think about it? I believe Gay is better than Dotson right now. I see Dotson as number 2. Hey, and That's the beauty of something like this. This is the beauty of bringing in a Willie Gay, is that it's competition for Dotson. You know, Dotson doesn't just get to sit there. I think Dotson probably got the lead for starting right now. I do, because he played here last year. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if Gay does take the position. I wouldn't be surprised if Gay does take the starting job from him. But I like the competition. Dotson had a couple big games for us last year. I think one game he had defensive player of the week, if I'm mistaken. Is Tyndall gone? I think so. I mean, it's possible, but again, he's a Chris Greer pick. We've held on to him for this long for some reason. You know, who knows? Who knows? Bonnie says, I love the Gay signing. Yeah, I think this is one of the better signings that we've made this offseason. 100%. Elwood, did you say Benito Jones re-signed? Is that facts, you guys? Did Benito Jones re-sign? Benito Jones. So, I mean, listen, he played 17 games last year, Benito did. He had 24 tackles, no sacks or anything. Listen, at this point, we need bodies. We need bodies. So I'm not mad at it. I don't think our defensive line played bad last year. And I mean, he was a part of that. Was he a big part? No. But I mean, he was a part of it. He was a part of it. At this point, I'm glad that we're getting anybody signed. I'm sure there's worse people that we could have brought back, but hey, I don't think Duke Riley's on the team anymore, Bonnie. I think Duke Riley's already gone. I could be mistaken, but I think he's already gone. And then, like I said, with Tyndall, who knows? I think we have 20 locks on offense now. Believe it or not, I think the draft is defense. Yeah, that's why I wanted to break down some of these later offensive guards, because I feel like the first couple rounds are definitely going to be on the defensive side of the ball, which I mean is kind of crazy. I mean, it is, but it isn't, because we had a top 10 defense last year. Where we struggled was our offense, but a lot of our offensive struggles was because of the quarterback in the offensive line. So, I mean, this team, listen, this team, as far away as we seem to be at sometimes, we're really not that far off from competing. It's just about making the right choices. You know what I mean? The reason that it seems like we're so far away from competing right now is because we have holes in key areas. But if we can fill those holes with good players, like, I feel like this team has a real shot at competing for a division title. I really do. The offense went straight to the gutter last year. Went straight to the gutter. I mean, when Tua was healthy, we averaged just under 25 points a game, which is pretty good. 25 points a game is pretty good. But at times, this offense looked lethargic. At times, I mean, it didn't seem like we could push the ball downfield at all. And a lot of that had to do with up front. A lot of that had to do with our offensive line. Well, how does the offensive line affect the deep passing game? Well, the reason that it affects the deep passing game so much is because these teams are able to come at us, and they're able to rush 4, and they're able to still get pressure. They're able to stop the run, and they're able to drop 7 people in coverage. Not only are they able to drop 7 in coverage, they can play their safeties too deep. And because our offensive line doesn't give the quarterback a whole lot of time to throw the ball, that gives corners the opportunity to come up and press our receivers. They come up and they put their hands on our receivers, which throws off the timing. Now, if we had adequate blocking up front, defenses couldn't come up and put hands on our receivers, because if they don't get their hands on the receivers, people are gone for an 80-yard touchdown. But since teams are playing with two deep safeties, they don't got to worry about that because they got safety help. But if we're able to run the ball, them safeties can't play too deep. They gotta creep up into that box. They gotta creep up and try to stop the run. They gotta try to creep up and stop the run. Darian, our quarterbacks were terrible at coming to the line of scrimmage and reading the defense. You know, Darian, a lot of that isn't the quarterbacks, though. A lot of that's not the quarterbacks. I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen where Mike McDaniel's play calls are so long. His plays are so long that by time the play gets into Tua, by the time the Tua gets the play to the team, that's how come we have so many instances where we have to take timeouts at the last second, and you're like, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? Why are we taking a timeout there? Why are they letting the clock get down so much? It's because these play calls are so long. There's so many parts to them. This guy's got a motion. That guy's got a motion. That by the time Tua gets the play in, Tua doesn't have time to make adjustments at the line. They got to hurry up and snap the ball. Scotty says Tua, Wilson, A-Chain, Wright, Madison, Ingold, Hill, Waddle, Westbrook, Malik, Jonnu, Brown, Jay Hill, Paul, Ike, Brewer, Daniels, AJ, Burham, Keon is the foundation of our offense right now. Yeah, I mean, I agree. We need one more guard, though. One more guard. A lot of it had to do with the lack of running game and not having the threat of run to use play action to bait. Absolutely, Irving. There are no audibles in the system. Casual fans don't understand that. I mean, you can audible anything, but there's not enough time to audible. When these play calls are so sophisticated and have so many moving pieces that by time you get the play in and by time you get the play to your team, there's not enough time. You got to hurry to the line and snap the ball. You got to hurry to the line and get your guys in motion and get them moving and get them going. There's no opportunity. No run game, and defenses will be comfortable playing too high shells. Yeah, absolutely, Irving, which almost eliminates the deep ball. Especially with Tua, because Tua doesn't have the strongest arm. So Tua's balls ain't going to be going in there a million miles an hour. You know, maybe Josh Allen can fit it in. Maybe Patrick Mahomes can fit it in. Elwood, Benito was a first run stuffer taking on the double teams. So others ones dirty one, no praise. Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at bringing Benito back. I'm not mad at it at all. Darian says Tua is terrible at reading defenses. That's why he was happy feet and he has to make the quick throw, because if he waits too long, he can't throw it down. I mean, we haven't seen, again, when Tua had offensive line, we had the number one offense in NFL. Big C, this is an RPO system. It's not an audible system. Listen, you can still audible anything. Bonnie says I'm okay with Benito. Irving says, no, let's not bond at reading defenses. That's false. He's not bad at reading defense. It's like you're saying exactly what I said a couple of days ago. He doesn't have Armstrong. He has a listen. He doesn't. There's a different type of. Can he throw a 45-yard pass? Absolutely. Can he throw a 45-yard pass with the same velocity that Josh Allen can? No. No, he can't. Good morning, Glenn. Tua has happy feet because of playing behind a bad line. What does that have to do with reading defenses? So let's go over a couple of these Cosa Nostra. Tua isn't allowed to audible. McDaniel won't permit it. Cool, but again, they've talked to Tua, and I remember seeing the interview where Tua said there is no time to audible regardless if he's able to or not. Regardless if he's able to or not, that's a mute point of the conversation. The conversation is there's not enough time to audible in the first place. He can throw a 45-yard pass if he throws it off to snap, not if he waits. I mean, I don't. All right. So let's take a look at some of the guards I had said yesterday. First one, Luke Kandra, Cincinnati Bearcats. Listen, all these guys are great fits. I'm not going to go in depth on all the guys. Go and watch the video that I put out last night. I go in depth on all these guys. I just wanted to give you the list of guys. Luke Kandra, Cincinnati Bearcats. Another guy that would be great for us in the later rounds. We got Clay Webb, guard, Jacksonville State. He's a transfer from Georgia, though. He sat behind on the depth chart at Georgia. So don't be afraid of the Jacksonville State small school. Another one I like a lot. You got Dylan Fairchild. He's probably the best of this bunch. He's probably going to go the highest in this draft. You probably see him go in the 3rd, 4th round. And then one I had mentioned earlier, Willie Lampkin, North Carolina. Listen, this guy has 1st, 2nd round talent. His biggest thing against him is that he's undersized. He's undersized. A lot of people don't even have him on their draft boards because of his size. But talent-wise, this guy is a 1st, 2nd round draft pick. But he's only 5'11", 100 or 290 pounds. 5'11", 290 pounds. So he's way undersized. A lot of people don't even have him on their boards. Marino said he never audible to a run his whole career. Dude, I've watched so much Tua film over the years, and you won't believe how much BS I have to debunk. That's why I limit Tua talk now. Too dumb and polarizing. Yeah, I mean, it's rough. Like, I don't know. I can't remember another player ever in Miami Dolphins history that there's just such a split opinion about one player. Just such a split opinion on one player. Too many pre-snap motions is the issue, along with slow timing by McDaniel. I agree, Scotty. He doesn't have the intelligence. If you guys remember when he came out of college, he won't score terrible in the Wonder Lake tests. Love Clay Webb, Elwood says. I am with you. I think Miami will not look at guard until the 3rd round. Yeah, Glenn, that's why I wanted to go over some guys that we could we could get in the 4th, 5th, 6th round that I think could come in. And if they get coached up a little bit, can be quality starters year one for us. I think any of those guys are an upgrade over Liam Eichenberg. I really do. Big C, what do you think about Tyler Cooper? I didn't get a chance to look at Tyler Cooper. What is Tyler Cooper a guard? I looked through people quick. I see what schemes they ran in, and that's what I went based on. I tried to find guys that fit our scheme and look through those guys. Steele Lampkin in the 6 would be crazy. Yeah, that's where they got him projected at. You know, does he go sooner? But Scotty, like they're taking a lot of people don't even have them on the board on the board because of his size, which I think is a mistake. If a guy's a dog and a football player, listen, I don't care how big he is. I don't care how big he is. Costa Nostra, be nice. Guard from Minnesota. Greer still hiding the Ike contract details. Yeah. I do not understand fans now. If a player is on your team, you root for him to do good. People root for Tua's to fail. I just don't understand. I mean, I can understand if you think Tua's not very good, but like people hate Tua. And even a lot of the content creators, they'd rather be right about Tua failing. They'd rather predict Tua fail, and they'll get mad if Tua doesn't fail. Like, I understand calling out Tua's faults because I call him out. You know what I mean? I say that I don't think Tua can be our quarterback because we can't rely on him consistently. I said that we need to move on from Tua just strictly because of the reliability thing. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I think he's a bad player per se, or that he doesn't do anything right because I don't think he's reliable. It's like, if you hate Tua, you hate Tua. I don't get it. I root for Liam to be good, even though he isn't. Yeah, I mean, I root for Liam too. I think it was a terrible re-signing. I would prefer him not be on the team. But if he's gonna be in the game, I don't want him to give up a sack. I don't want him to get pushed over. I'm not like when the defensive tackle bowls him over, I'm not like, yeah, let's go. I just thought, you know what I mean? That don't make sense to me. But I find a lot of these content creators are like that. They're like, they get mad if Tua succeeds, or they can't admit anything that Tua does good. No, Tua can't do this. No, Tua can't do that. Tua can't do anything good. Tua. And I no, we based the whole team around Tua. We got rid of a coach because of our salary cap is the way it is because it's. Listen, if you think the way that Brian Flores treated Tua Tagovailoa is all right, that's crazy. Brian Flores was a dick to Tua for no reason. He didn't give Tua an opportunity. Laugh Out Loud. There are Finn podcasts that will talk 6 to 8 hours straight just bashing Tua. Think about that. That's absolutely crazy. How are you? You're not a Dolphins fan then. I pull your Dolphins card, bro. I pull your Dolphins card. If you think that Tua is that bad, like, first off, I got a question if you've ever sat there and watched Dolphins games prior to the last 4 years. Prior to the last 4 years. Charles Grant, William and Mary is a perfect fit in the 4th. Check them out. I will. I'll make sure I check them out. A top 10 quarterback. I'm not saying he's top 10. I'm not saying Tua's a top 10 quarterback. Could I name 10 quarterbacks better than Tua? I might be able to. But do I you guys will, and I don't want to say you guys, Darian, because I don't want to put you in a category. But Tua haters will make it seem like he's not even top 32, that he should not be a starter in this league. And if you believe that, you are a hater. If you believe there's 32 quarterbacks better than Tua Tagovailoa in the NFL and that Tua is nothing more than a backup, you are a hater. You don't have to think Tua's top 10. You don't have to. I'm cool with that. That doesn't make you a Tua hater to say Tua's not top 10. That doesn't make you a Tua hater to say Tua's not top 10. I don't feel that way. Do the rest of the chat feel that way? Do you feel like you gotta love Tua so much that you say he's a top 10 quarterback? Darian says, I'm a coach and you gotta treat all players the same. Two of crybabies and they're protecting him. I mean, the way that Tua's been treated by this fan base, by his first head coach, shit, Tua deserves to cry a little bit, man. Tua's not a bad quarterback, though. You're saying Tua's not a good quarterback. That's not a real statement. That's a false statement. Tua is a good quarterback. Tua might not be a great quarterback, but Tua is a good quarterback. Joe, you met Dion yesterday. Congratulations, brother. Was he a nice guy? Scotty says Tua's played top 5 quarterback play, and he's played bottom 5 at times. In average, top half of the league. If I had to give you a number right now, and number 13 is my favorite number, I would say, just randomly without really thinking about it, I would say Tua is probably the 13th best quarterback in the NFL. How did you meet him, Joe? Did you meet him through work or airport? What? That's pretty cool, though. That's pretty cool. What do you mean? Do they really have computers that come into these chats and say stuff? Darian, how do you know if that statement's true, brother? How can you say that Tua doesn't do that? How do you know that? Oh, he was a speaker. Okay, Joe. How do you know he doesn't go and do that's crazy to say. How do you know what that man does on a regular daily basis? Scotty, I'm new to this. You're telling me that a computer for no reason will come into a chat and pretend to be a real person and talk about and Darian, I'm not saying you are a bot. You know what I mean? Blue Jay, what's up? What's up? What's up? That's crazy. That's crazy that technology is that far in advance. That they can sit there and have a conversation with you. That is absolutely crazy. Please, you guys, make sure you guys go through and watch the video I released last night. He's being paid like a great quarterback. That's not his fault, though. That's not, he is. That's the problem with this. That's the problem with the NFL these days. And I said at the beginning of the season, in one of my very first videos, I think I did. Maybe the first maybe the first video I ever did, or the second video. I said, when did the NFL become a place where the person that was up for contract next got to become the highest paid player in the league? They just take turns. They just take turns. When did it become all right for us to pay average players or above average players great player money? Like back in the day, if you weren't Joe Montana, you weren't going to make, if you weren't better than Joe Montana, you were never going to make more money than Joe Montana. Now, mind you, you probably had the top 2, 3, 4 players in the league all go back and forth as highest paid, but never was Ken O'Brien going to make Joe Montana money. You know what I mean? Bubby Brister wasn't going to make Dan Marino money. I complained over a year ago that I wanted Sam Darnold right as he left the 49ers, but no one listened. I don't want Sam Darnold. I don't want Sam Darnold. I don't think Sam Darnold's better than Tua Tagovailoa. That's, you know what I mean? You guys complain that Tua's only had one good year, but you want to sign Sam Darnold? How many good years has Sam Darnold had? One? Same as Tua? Tua's had more than one good year, actually. He just struggles to stay healthy. Is there any other guards that people see? I know that we named a couple. Is there any other guards that you know of that the Miami Dolphins should be concentrating on? I know Elwood, can you are you the one that threw the names out there? Can you throw those names out again real quick so I can write them down? Those 4 guys, I think, would be an instant upgrade. I don't want to go into a world where Liam Eichenberg is the starting guard for us. I really don't. If Liam Eichenberg is starting week 1, this Miami Dolphins team has failed. This Miami Dolphins team has failed. In the fact that there's at least 4 players that you can get in round 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7. That there's 4 players that you can target that would fill the hole on the offensive line that you have. Charles Grant, Williams and Marys. There was one other guy, Tyler, was it Tyler something? Yeah, but Donovan Jackson is a earlier round, right? Isn't Donovan Jackson round 1, round 2 guy? Scotty. I tried to stay away from the guys that were going to go early. Tyler Cooper. Thank you. Ethan, Timothy. I tried to stay away from the guys that were going to go super early. Yeah, Scotty. I mean, don't you feel like round 1 and 2 are going to be defensive tackle, corner, defensive tackle, safety? I don't feel like we go guard first 2 rounds. I really don't. Connor Kobe from Iowa. Are these guys scheme fits, do you know? I just hope we don't make the mistake that, even though, like I had talked about with CB83, I hope because Miami has their mindset that they're not taking a guard in the first round, that if Membu falls to them at 13, they need to still snatch him. Their game plan needs to change. If Membu falls to 13, their game plan needs to change. Yeah, I do defensive tackle and defensive back with the first. Probably won't go interior offensive line until the 4th. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Austin Jackson just restructured his contract. Okay, well that creates, what's that create? 6 million this year. Let me ask this. Do the Miami Dolphins end up touching Tua's contract? Do the Miami Dolphins eventually buckle and alter Tua's contract? Drew Kendall, a legit backup center. I'll check him out, Scotty. Now I'm probably going to check out defensive tackles today. So anybody got a list of guys I should check out that they want me to focus in on? I'm not going to go in too much on Mason Graham probably because I feel like he's going to be the first one off the board. Bonnie says, no, I don't think they will. JJ Pegas. Thor Griffith. Yeah, I've checked out Thor before, but I'll make sure to. Collins, Norman Lott. This might have to be a 2 video. Jay Caldwell, Oregon. Yeah, Darian, I think we should still get a veteran. Hernandez, Zietler, Riley Mills. Yeah, this is gonna have to be part 1, part 2. Scotty says, laugh out loud, deepest defensive tackle class in history. Yeah, that's gonna be too much for one video. Shoot. Because I definitely want to get the other Michigan guy that I can't think of his name right now, but Picked him in most of my mock drafts in the first round. I hate that. Restructuring AJ creates 7.2 million. I mean, it's a smart move. And they can still do the Brooks move. Again, you don't have to do anything to his contract. Just turn it into a signing bonus. That saves you another 6. So, I mean, there's ways that they can create cap space. I did hear there is an open offer on the table to Calais Campbell right now. Kenneth Grant, you're right, Timothy. That's my dude. We need a tough guy, a power guy at the next guard position. Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously, well, a tough power, you know, he's got to be agile to run this. He's got to be agile. He's got to be mobile to be a guard in Mike McDaniel's system. Which sucks that, you know, most guy, if our next coach runs a different run scheme, do we have to start all over with the offensive line? You know what I mean? I want guys that are a mix. You know what I mean? I want guys that are agile, but still big and strong also. Which, I mean, I guess that's the perfect guard, right? So I'm not asking for much. Miles Frazier, guard from LSU. I think this is going to be a make or break year. So, no, I don't touch his contract. More guard names are Jackson Slater, Sacramento State, Joshua Gray, Oregon State. Well, I mean, that just proves the point that there's no reason that we shouldn't come away with good quality depth, at least depth out on the offensive line, even the defensive tackle position. Scotty said one of the deepest defensive tackles classes in history. I mean, we kind of lucked out. We kind of lucked out that this year, in a year that we need so much trench help, that these are two of the deepest positions in all of college football. If Phil Campbell falls to us and we draft him, do we trade away Paul in the future? I mean, I don't know, Timothy. I don't know. I don't know what we do at that point. Again, they think that Will Campbell's arms are too short to play tackle. That's a big concern with NFL teams. And I think if he falls to us to 13, that would be the reason why. So when Miami drafts him, do they draft him straight as a guard, or do they play him at tackle? I'm absolutely blown away that some fans have absolutely given up on Paul. I haven't given up on Paul. I mean, he's young, he's unproven. But at the same time, if, you know, Joe Thomas is available to you, do you not take Joe Thomas because you got a second round pick on your team? I mean, if Joe Thomas becomes a player of Joe Thomas's, you know what I mean, becomes available to you. If a Richmond Webb becomes available to you, do you not draft a Richmond Webb because you got a second round pick on your team that's unproven? An inch and a half matters. Ask her. I'm not, you know what I mean, Scotty? He's still the top tackle prospect in this draft. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas is one of the greatest of all time. You know what I mean? Sorry, I guess that was a bad comparison. I'm definitely not on Paul, but I mean, again, if the top prospect in the draft at that position falls to you, you're not doing your team due diligence to not at least think about taking them. You know what I mean? You worry about you take them if you feel like Will Campbell's going to be an upgrade over Patrick Paul, a considerable upgrade over Patrick Paul. I don't see how you don't draft him. I mean, again, in a lot of people's opinion, Will Campbell is the top offensive tackle prospect. Scotty. But yeah, lots of options. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's above my pay grade. I'm not out on Patrick Paul. That's a tough position to be in. I don't know what you do there. I don't know what the right answer is there. I'm not just going to give an answer because I'm not going to just give an answer to give an answer. You know what I mean? I'm not sure what you do there. But yeah, I'm probably gonna put together at least half the defensive tackles tonight. So keep an eye out on for that video. If you haven't watched the guard video, I'm gonna check out the other guards too. Maybe we'll have to come back and hit up another guard video. But I'm gonna do half the defensive tackles tonight and break down what players. I mean, obviously, I think we're gonna take a defensive tackle in the first, second round. So, I mean, I'm going to concentrate on more of the top prospects with defensive tackle. Maybe that's how I'll separate it. Defensive tackles that could go in the first 3 rounds, and then defensive tackles that can go in the later rounds. What about Paul to right tackle, Jackson the right guard? That's a whole lot of switching around. Elwood, I don't, you know what I mean? We spent a second on Paul. He's developed a year under Armstead. The absolute obvious is to play him this year at left tackle. I'm lost by some fans' take on this. I mean, Scotty, everybody's going to have different opinions. I mean, maybe you got the right opinion. You know what I mean? But if Campbell comes out and is a monster, is an absolute monster, and Patrick Paul you play Patrick Paul and he turns out to be a bum, then who's right? You know what I mean? There's no real answer to this because the games have yet to be played. You can't be 100% right about something without the games being played. Elwood says best 5 on the line. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. There's, like I said, there's a lot of guards available in this draft. We have other needs. In hindsight, I'd probably not take in Campbell. I don't know. If Campbell's there, I'm probably trying to trade down. Maybe hopefully somebody else is coming to get him. Costa Nostra, we ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? You see that I shut that down. I promise this ain't gonna be a bash to it because that's not how I feel about the guy. So I'm not gonna allow this to be that. Yeah, Frozen Finn, we about to cash out right now. Make sure you check out the video I posted last night with top guards that are available for us after the first round. And tonight I'm gonna drop one about some of the top defensive tackles that are available. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. And again, You know, I probably try to trade out at 13 if Campbell falls. You have to draft your young talent, develop them, and play them. Why are fans ready to walk away from a second-round pick? That I don't think they're necessarily ready to walk away from him, Scotty. I don't think fans are really. Listen, Frozen Fins fan, listen. There's a lot more offensive guards in this draft than you think. It's a deep class. We can get people in the 4th, 5th, 6th round that, you know what I mean? But Scotty, I don't think people are necessarily ready to walk away. I think they don't want to see us pass on a top tier talent if they become available to us. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody wants to release Paul or, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I personally, if he was there, I would hope that someone wants to move up that has a need at left tackle and we could trade back and gain some draft capital. That's probably what the best move is, in my opinion. Oh, free agent D-line. Yeah, I mean, we brought Benito Jones back. At least that's a body, I guess. I mean, he didn't play horrible for us last year. I pray to God that Calais, please stay with Miami. Don't go up there to Baltimore. Please. Calais, stay in Miami. Because if we can bring Calais home, you got Benito. Hopefully, we draft a couple. We draft one early, one later, and that'll be it. That'll be a good start. But all right, folks, make sure you check out the video from last night going over the guards. I'm going to hit up some defensive tackles tonight. Make sure you hit that like button. I appreciate every single one of you. Let me know if you like if you haven't got an opportunity to check out the guard video. Let me know if you prefer that, how I make the video ahead of time and then we discuss it the next day. That way I'm getting you guys some content. You know what I mean? Instead of us just coming in here and fricka freestyling completely, which I love. Don't get me wrong. I love it. You know what I mean? I love coming in here and going back and forth and talking. Again, I don't like the disagreements. Listen, every fan's going to have an opinion. You know what I mean? My opinion isn't going to necessarily be your opinion. Your opinion is not going to necessarily be Tom's opinion or Jack's opinion. As long as we're respectful and we have some facts to support our claims, and as long as we're not so far in left field, we just, we try to respect each other. Timothy, bro, it's hard to say, man. It's hard to say because I got the kids and stuff. Man, I'll try to have it done. Man, I don't know. I can't give you an exact time on that, brother. It'll be before midnight. Sorry. It's really hard for me to say. Yeah, I can't give you an exact time because a lot of things pop up for me. But I'll try my best to get it as soon as possible. But again, thank you for coming through. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button on the other video too. And I appreciate every single one of you. I love y'all. Fins up for life. You know what it is. Till next time. Peace out, Holmes.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody and stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine, from pain it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just hold an obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression,
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds, they can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what